context, because I just have to, because it won't make any sense unless I tell you a little bit about myself. I felt funny doing it because it could sound like I'm trying to tell you all this stuff, but it will make sense once I tell you everything I need to tell you. So, like you said, I was a police officer with the city of Anaheim for several years. I was an investigator in sex crimes and family crimes. I was on the SWAT team. I trained police dogs all over the world. I was a canine handler. I've been shot at. I've had to shoot. I've had to do a bunch of stuff like that. And when you've had that kind of career where you're jumping out of helicopters and leading the team into an assault, things begin to happen to you, right? You can get hurt. You get slammed on the ground. Training police dogs for several years. I've had I can't countless dogs hit me at about 15 miles an hour or 100 pounds, hitting me on the left-hand side and taking me down, because that's what I did for a living. I trained police dogs all over the world. And so it took a toll on my body. I was a pole vaulter in high school and college. I played football and I played hockey. I still play hockey. And I played hockey on the police team, where we travel all over the world playing hockey in Austria, in Canada, getting our butts kicked by some very good players. And so as I got older, and again, it sounds like a lot of stuff, but the problem with doing all that stuff is that as I got older, things start to happen. Things start to fall apart. Things start to hurt. A lot of pain in my shoulder and neck. Like I said, I've been hit by dogs. In one day, I could have been hit by 5 or 6 different dogs, up to about 30 or 40 times, running at full speed and taking me down. And then not only do they do that, then they're pulling, right? They hit you, and then they start pulling and shaking their head on my arm and on my body, on my butt, on my legs. And so about 10 months ago, I was in a lot of pain in my shoulder and lower back and all those areas. I'd also 2 years previously got diagnosed with cancer, the prostate. And not that big of a deal, because when they say you get cancer of the prostate, they say at least you got the good one. They go, is there a good cancer? But that's what they told me. And so I wasn't happy with that either. I had a couple biopsies with Kaiser Permanente. Both of them went horribly wrong. I had bled internally and nearly died after both biopsies. And so I realized that, all right, I'm in a lot of pain. I got cancer. Kaiser's trying to kill me. I got to figure out what I'm going to do to help myself. So I start looking into some stuff, because up to that point, I thought, like probably a lot of people, that you're just going to go and your doctor's going to take care of you. And they're going to be really careful on how they treat me and what they give me and all that kind of stuff. And as I do this more and more, and watching her talk about the wellness being a really important place to be, I found that's really true. Because once I started taking care of myself a little bit better, one of those things began with what I started with. It was Cbd oil. My life began to change. And for me, again, I know this isn't for everybody, but for me, the very moment 10 months ago that somebody finally convinced me to try Cbd oil, because as a police officer, I thought it was illegal. I'm not going to be able, how can I travel with this? Because I was traveling all the time. I'm not going to put something in my body. My friends are going to question me. I still have friends that are in law enforcement. I have friends that are chief of police. What are they going to think when I start holding up a book that has me holding a bottle of Cbd oil and what looks like a marijuana leaf on top, right? And right down here it says former canine police officer, right? And so back then I'm going, oh God, I'm not going to tell anybody, but I'm going to take it. And I took it, and that night I slept fantastic. I had the best night of sleep. I would normally up to that point sleep 2-3 hours a night. A broken sleep, it was horrible. That night I slept 6 hours. And I thought, well, that's a fluke. Maybe I just believe the hype. Maybe it's just my brain getting the best of me, thinking, well, I'm taking this stuff, so now it's letting me rest. But it kept happening night after night. Kept sleeping better. I was on high blood pressure medication for several years, maybe about 10 years. Had to take it, or else my blood pressure would be so high they wouldn't let me leave the hospital when I'd have a check, or the doctor's office. I started taking Cbd oil. I went in there. They go, wait a minute, let's take it again. So they took it again. They go, oh my God, it's even lower. What have you been doing? And I go, oh, nothing. I didn't want to tell them, because I thought, they're going to call the police. So my blood pressure is now lower. So now I'm asleep, and my blood pressure is lower, and now this pain that I've had from my arm being tugged on by dogs for so many years, I had to roll out of bed, put my feet on the ground, and then stand up, because it was too painful to push myself out of bed. the pain started to disappear. I used to go to the gym all the time and lift barbells and dumbbells and do all this stuff. I couldn't lift a beer. Very important, by the way, to be able to lift a beer. And so now all of a sudden I'm back at the gym. I can now lift 45, 50 pounds, which is nothing to Vinny. But to me, lifting 50-pound dumbbells over my head was a pretty big deal, being able to do that again. So that kind of gives you a little bit of context of why I'm standing here in front of you, because it's just simply changed my life. The most important thing is that I have kids. I have little kids. I have a 5-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 24-year-old. And the last thing I want to do is to have to walk into my kids' third grade class on a walker. Because I felt about 10 months ago that's what I was going to have to do. I was in pain. I had high blood pressure. I was on pre-diabetic medication. I was on 4 different pharmaceuticals. And I thought that was just going to be the rest of my life. I really did. I thought, well, I'm just going to continue to go to doctors, and that's how it's going to be. But now I know different. I don't feel the same as I did 10 months ago. The only thing I've changed in my life is I started taking Cbd Oil. So that's why I'm here today, I guess, in front of you, because immediately I wrote a book about it. I said, this is amazing. People need to know more about this. How can I tell more people about it? I'm not here necessarily for the business. I hope that's okay to say. I'm here because I want people to feel better.
Yes.
I tell you all the time, if you watch any of my Facebook Lives or any time that I'm speaking on stage to people, I'm talking about how it makes people feel. I'm not telling you to buy it from me. You can. I would love that. That would surely help me. But I want you to feel, I just want you to try it. If you buy it from Vinny or buy it from any one of you that are in here, I would be just as equally as happy that somebody tried it. And that is my total focus and goal. I've been lucky enough to speak in front of doctors in Nashville, Tennessee twice now, a group of doctors. And here I am, a bunch of doctors, and they each speaker, they're going up as another doctor, talking to doctors. They go, here's this guy who's a dog trainer and a former police officer talking to doctors about something they know nothing about. It is really amazing that I'm up there telling them about the endocannabinoid system and that we have cannabinoid receptors in our body that is starving for CBD oil. We're starving for it because we don't have it in our diet. Our bodies need it. Little did we know we needed it until Raphael McCollum out of the Hebrew University in Israel discovered the endocannabinoid system and realized that our bodies actually need what's in these little tiny bottles. Actually need it. The other thing I need to tell you is that I started with another company. If you take, whoever grabs these books can have them. It says HempWorks on there. That's another company, obviously not Vasayo. And I just recently decided to come over to Vasayo. And I'm going to tell you, it's not for money. It absolutely is not for money. It's not for the company necessarily. I do like the company. It is much better. But I came over because as I began to become more of an expert, I guess, in the systems, or in the CBD oil, and how it works in our system, I wanted to learn more. As an investigator, I was even a private investigator after I retired from law enforcement. And as an investigator, I'm always looking to see that what I'm putting in my body, what I'm telling people about is the best information. Little did I know, because I'm not a doctor, and then because I'm not a scientist, that our body could not absorb everything that was in HempWorks product. I thought it was doing good for me, right? And so if something is working for me, you wouldn't want to change unless you're going to change for the right reasons. So I began to investigate, and before I even found out about the sale, I started hearing about delivery systems. I talked to the scientist, Tracy, who put together the formulation. He told me why he decided to use the things he's using in there, the liposome. Haha, got it this time. I want to say liposome. But the liposome system, and I did more research on it. I talked to people away from Vasayo so that I wasn't getting influenced by somebody that was working for Vasayo, and they all agreed that you have to have a delivery system. If you don't have a delivery system, you're just peeing it out. And it's a waste of money. It's a waste of product. And you need other ingredients in there to make it a little bit more palatable. HempWorks has a little bit of THC in it, and the doctors that I was speaking to were worried that they were going to lose their license. So that the other reason why I decided to go and change over to Vasayo is because it's THC free. I have a lot of law enforcement friends who want to take it, but they were afraid to take it. And so it just made sense to change. It's a better product, as great as HempWorks is. And as much as I love all the people over there that led me into this direction, because 10 months ago I knew nothing about CBD oil. And now I'm speaking to doctors in Nashville, Tennessee. They're flying me out, they're putting me in the nicest hotels. And it's all because I just really began to study and begin to learn. And I'm here to tell you that right now, Vasayo is making the best product that I've been able to buy, by far. And it's
patented. It's patented.
And it's patented. I've been taking it now for, how long ago? A couple weeks? about a week and a half, and I've noticed that I feel even a little bit better. And at least it didn't change, right? At least I was taking 750 milligrams of HempWorks. Did you hear what she said was in this one? It was a lot less than 750. So I'm thinking, crap. I almost said a bad word. Sorry. Went back to my police officer. And that is it. I mean, I feel a little bit better, I think. The cream is way better. The cream is fantastic. They have a cream too that I put on. I put the cream on the outside to work on the sore shoulder and neck. Again, I couldn't do this before. I would stop a little bit short, and I didn't have any range of motion in my neck. I couldn't turn because it was so much pain. And so you wonder, well, how can it fix your pre-diabetic diagnosis, because I'm no longer pre-diabetic? How can it fix your high blood pressure? Oh, I have anxiety that I used to suffer with. I rarely tell anybody about that. I drove myself to the emergency room a couple of times because I thought I was going to die. And they said, no, you have anxiety. Well, I haven't had any anxiety whatsoever. I sleep like a baby. I don't know, I can go on and on. How can it affect so many things? Well, that's because our body, like she was saying, we all have systems in our body that need to be brought to homeostasis. And so with endocannabinoid system, that is what it's fighting to do. It's trying to bring us to balance in all of our systems, where it's the nervous system or the, and now I'm freezing up on the names. All the different systems. What's that?
Cardiovascular.
Cardiovascular system. Thank you. Anybody else? The shoelace system. I don't know. But there's like 5 or 6 main systems that it's all. It comes into our system and tries to bring them into balance. Does it have success with everybody? I would say probably not everybody. In some cases, like Vinny, I think it actually it energizes them a little bit more than helps them sleep. But that's just kind of the individual thing that you have going on. I think you have to regulate and decide what your dose is going to be for you and the people that you're recommending take it. You have to make sure they understand that the dosage may not remain the same. Right? If they're getting something that they don't want, then they need to reduce and see if that helps. If they're not getting any results, then they need to increase. And that's just the way that it works. The same dosage for everybody, it doesn't exist as far as I know. Now, Vasayo may be different, but I'm telling you that I know that people sometimes have to change things from time to time. It is a product that works, and again, I'm only interested in making people feel better. Again, if it's not working for you, then I don't want to say something that's not working for you. I think the other wellness products that I found in Vasayo, which HempWorks doesn't have, also was a very attractive thing for me, and in the direction that I'm going. And so that is my plan. My plan is to be here with Vasayo to rewrite a book so it doesn't say HempWorks on it. It's going to be really important. But I think the information in there is still valid. You're going to see some references to HempWorks if you do take the book. If you go on Kindle, if you prefer to read on a Kindle, it's only 99 cents on Kindle. And so you go on a Kindle and get it in Kindle if you don't get one of the paperback form. I have 2 chapters on the endocannabinoid system. One chapter is on it's just a very easy chapter that just explains it very easily. The second chapter on the endocannabinoid system goes in greater detail. I just want to write one chapter for each person. Some people don't care. They just want to go, okay, why does it work? Okay, that's good enough. Other people go, oh, I need to know everything that there is. And so I put a little bit more information in there. And I think you'll find it interesting again. I wish I had more, but I just came back from Nashville again. And gave away 100 and something books to all the doctors. The last thing that I thought was really interesting that happened to me the other day is that I got a phone call from a patient, a Yale-trained doctor in Orange County, I'm not going to say his name, had a decision to make. And this woman had very serious arthritis issues, and he was going to prescribe her an opiate to help her. And he was at my talk in Nashville. He decided, you know what, instead of giving you this opiate prescription, what I want you to do is I want you to call this guy Andy. So I have a doctor, Yale trained, telling somebody to call me to get them a couple bottles of Cbd oil to see if that will help this person instead of them putting him on an opiate. That was the only thing he has. In California, surprisingly enough, he can give him an opiate, but he can't give him Cbd oil to see if it works. Right? It's craziness. There's a whole history. I have the history of what hemp and marijuana have gone through here in the United States, and it's literally crazy. The doctors can give something so addicting, so harmful to our body, but not get something that's so helpful to our body. And she came to my house yesterday. We had a talk, and she brought somebody else, so I ended up selling 2 bottles instead of 1, and then she's sending me 3 other people that want Cbd oil because they want to try to get off of their arthritis medication and that kind of stuff. So it's not that this isn't snake oil. This isn't something you're trying to sell somebody, to your friends and family that like a Kirby vacuum cleaner. I did that once. Tried to sell over Kirby vacuum cleaner, but because I have no interest in network marketing, I have no interest in multi-level marketing. That is not who I am. But I know Vasayo is a great product, and this is their system, and I'm more than happy to be involved in the system and to see what happens. If I can make a good living at it and not have to travel so much, I want to do that. But you're in the right place. I would definitely, at least, if anything, I want you to put the Cbd oil in your dietary diet. Dietary diet. Is that a good thing to say?
Yeah.
You can tell I'm not a doctor or a scientist. But I would just make it a daily thing. I think it's something we just need, like vitamin C, like being out in the sun to get vitamin D. We need it in our body. It's not like it's something that you can take and stop. It is something that our body, again, is starving for and needs in your body. And so I'm doing my best to educate people the best I can. That is my job. And if I can help you guys in any way, if you need an interview on a Facebook Live or anything like that, just get a hold of me, and I'll be more than happy to do that. I did 3 Facebook Lives today. I did probably 5 Facebook Lives yesterday, so it's something I do a lot. And all you got to do is message me and get my number before we leave here. I'm on Facebook, that horrible thing. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, but you just got to get a hold of me there, and we can do it. I can set it up. If you've never done a Facebook Live, I teach people how to do that too. So that's one of the things that I do. I have another book here for a couple people. If anybody's religious of it all, I wrote this book. This is how my dog saved my life. My police dog saved my life, and that story is in there, plus a couple other stories, and you'll learn why I'm so jacked up in the brain. No. Sure.
Thank you.
The one thing you'll know is that I love my kids. I'm a single dad, and they're the only thing that take a priority over anything else. So if anything ever gets in the way, that's probably what it is. But they're fantastic, and I love them all. And I appreciate your time and your attention to listen to what I had to say. I hope it was helpful.
Stay there a minute. So, I appreciate you so much, and all his knowledge and everything. So for me, like I was saying at the beginning, so 5 months ago, I get involved with one of my best friends through life, mentor, just incredible relationship that I had with him in the past, and then so fast forward here, neither he or I knew what was in the forefront. We didn't know. We just felt that something was happening that brought me to this point in my life, right? And so we never know which way we go. And with another friend of mine, introduces me to him when I called him and asked him about CBD. And so that brings me to tonight and being able to see this. I have not heard him talk this extensive about his story. I was just in awe of all the things that he's been through and all the things that he continues to do. He does have a young family, and and so
I know you don't look old enough to have a young family.
and so I'm tickled. So if you guys want to get some of his books or any of that stuff, but right now I just wanted to see a couple of things that I wanted to do while I had him here. So it's been a minute since some of you have taken the CBD oil, right? And so has anybody here, besides Valerie, who now says her elbow pain is gone, has anybody here having good or bad? I just want to know if you're feeling. I know you have.
I came in with the shoulder is no longer there.
The pain you had when you came in. I feel like a talk show guy. Can we get an amen over here? It's incredible. It's just incredible. So you had I put the cream myself on you, right? With the glove. All right, and so I rubbed it all over your neck, your shoulders, and you said you were stiff when you came in. I don't know you from nowhere, correct? I know you from him, right? All right. So I just want to make sure. So you feel that. Now you had my wife put.
No, she did.
She put a little bit of lotion on her ankle.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I'm feeling okay. I'm not feeling like I'm all ready to jump, but I'm feeling okay.
You feeling okay? Do you feel like you still have that little bit of a pain or anything?
A little more dull.
A little more dull. Okay. And plus you took a little bit of oil as well, right?
So
How
I'm
does?
sleep tonight.
So you're gonna sleep. You already kind of feel relaxed?
I'm feeling better. Yeah.
You feeling good? Good. And that's what it's there for. It's not, and again, like you said, it's not snake oil. It's just, it's part of what it is it goes into your body. And so if you're like this, it does this. That's all. It's just balancing out your body, correct?
Yep.
All right. So
The one really important thing is that the placebo effect often comes up. People say, well, you're just, say that making you feel better is because it's in your head. I remember I trained dogs for a very long time. Caesar, Milan, and I, we produced a show together called Love My Pit Bull. And so I have a lot of experience with dogs. I have a lot of experience with dogs that have issues, including anxiety, right? Dogs that have a lot of anxiety. I have dogs that have, bad hips and other issues. And the effects of Cbd Oil on dogs is even better. And that cannot be a placebo. The dog has no idea that, I'm going to get a little bit of this pot. You're going to want a little bit more kibble tonight, but that's about it. No. But you give a dog some of these things, and in some cases, instantaneously, dogs that are having seizure, I have videos of dogs taking Cbd Oil, and the seizure stops. Within minutes, not even minutes, seconds of them taking Cbd Oil.
Oh, wow.
I have other dogs that over a period of time who would have trouble walking on a slick floor or even up the stairs. A couple days later, are walking on the slick floors and walking up the stairs, and they couldn't do it before they started taking Cbd Oil. So I know, in the beginning, I thought it was a placebo effect myself. I really did. I thought, there's no way this is all happening. Then my blood pressure dropped, and I go, now I couldn't have done that, right? I couldn't have dropped my blood pressure. And the nurse looked at me and go, what the hell's going on with you? How did you do that? Because he can see all my levels. All my levels are really high, and all of a sudden I have this big drop. And again, I didn't tell him the CBD. But then when the dogs started to show improvement, it was incredible. And that's when I was convinced that this wasn't magic. It wasn't a placebo effect. And so, just to talk to the placebo effect.
yes,
But,
yes, and I feel that that's really important right now to inject that because. People might say, oh, they're just expecting it. Now, I did have other people. Does anybody else have a testimony that took the you got one?
Yeah.
All right, Elise did.
Right here, come over here since you're telling your story.
Jermaine wrote some on my back.
Here, here's the mic.
He wrote some on my back, so it was a little tight over here, but now it's more like calming and loose and not
And loose. It's
Yeah,
kind of
turn
just
my neck
loosened
down.
it up a little bit, right? The smell is
Yeah.
the odor on it is very pleasant and kind of relaxing. Yep, absolutely. And so, Nick, you said that you were taking it for your knee.
Yeah,
And you were
now
jumping out of the
I'm
van
not
today.
walking.
He's jumping out of the truck.
I go work better now.
Yeah, good.
Because, he's at my house Saturday, and he's like, oh, I gotta go home, my legs are killing me. And then Peppa's like, give him the cream. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I'm like, hey Dad, try this. Take it home, try this. Call me tomorrow. And he calls me, he's like, there's no pain, I can move, I can walk, I can do all this stuff. And he's jumping out of my van right now, and he's right behind me. He's
Great.
wobbling.
That's awesome.
One
That's
really
awesome.
good interview I did was with Dr. Kaylee Boswell out of St. Louis, Missouri. And she runs a pain management practice, mostly. But she had a patient who he got 3 of his fingers amputated. If you have a chance to watch that interview, again, if you get a hold of me, I'll send you the link to it. But the guy was 57, I think, somewhere in the States. Which, when you get older, you heal a lot slower, unfortunately. But when he had his fingers cut off, she applied Cbd Oil directly to the wounds. He healed within 3 weeks. And we have the pictures, the stages of the pictures, and his testimonial. He
That's
was,
incredible.
he goes, he couldn't believe it. She said it was like Wolverine.
Wow.
He healed so fast.
That's incredible.
But in saying that, the interview's great because she talks about other things too. She talks about why she started taking it as a doctor because she had that same feeling like, I can't take this as a doctor, I can't tell anybody. But she had really bad a back injury, I believe, and it changed her life, so she began prescribing it to her patients. But one thing really important, we're talking about how quickly some of these things are happening. Understand that there's some that take a little bit longer, 30, 60, 90 days. And so you're going to have people that say, well, I took it for a couple days and it didn't help. Dude.
Whatever.
I was born in California,
Yeah,
raised in
that's
California.
right.
Dude, come on.